Welcome everyone to this session. So we are going to talk about the basics of a good facilitation, where we'll have some discussion about who is a facilitator and the role of a facilitator in the facilitation process. Please, for the French speakers, if you don't hear the interpretation, please let Amisi know. Thanks. So my name is Linda Balola and I'm from DRC. I'm a facilitator of different approaches of peace building. And our today's topic is about the basics of a good facilitation. Yeah, so as I said, we'll be having some discussions. And I would like to ask you, what do you think when you hear the word facilitation? What do you understand when you hear the word facilitation? Anyone online or in person? What is facilitation by you? Yes, Dancila?
Thank you. For me, when I hear the word facilitator, I think like it's a person who helps a group of people work well together, where a facilitator guides the discussion and they make sure everyone can share their ideas. And also, I think like a facilitator.
Thank you so much.
The first job is to make maybe learning or teamwork easier and more effective. That's how I think of a facilitator.
Thank you so much, Dancila. Anyone else? What do you understand by facilitation? Anyone from French speaker? Anyone? Guide, what do you think? So if you have any answer, please, you can put it in the comment section, like in the chat. So let's go to the next slide. Yeah, I will start with who is the facilitator first. And a facilitator is the person who makes things easy. And talking about facilitation, it's a process of helping participants to learn from an activity. I think it's an easier definition to understand. For now, I want to give you the difference between a content expert and a facilitator. Who is an expert and who is a facilitator? As we can see, a content expert, it's someone who presents the information. Like, I'm an expert, I'm someone who knows the content, I'm well prepared, so I'm just coming here to give you information, what I've prepared. So the second difference, a content expert provides the right answers. Like in the session, when participants ask questions, as a content expert, so I'm there to give the right answer. It's like, it's my answer that is right. No, me as a content expert. So the third difference is a content expert promote one-way communication. It's like I'm the only one sharing. And the last one, a content expert is the leader-centered. Like he's the one who is at the center of everything. So when we want to see now who is a facilitator. A facilitator is someone who guides the discussions. So when we find ourselves in the workshop, a facilitator is someone who guides, who is going to speak. So after this, like giving the floor to people and to know who have spoke, who speak first and who did not share. A facilitator also provides the right question. So through the content that I prepared as a facilitator, so I can prepare some questions that I can ask my participants. Just to understand the level of capturing the content. A facilitator also promotes two-way communication. Like I'm not the only one who's sharing information. But also the participants can also share what they know about the content. And that's why when I say guide discussions, so a facilitator is that person can also create some groups forming groups in the workshop and try to check how the group are working together. And invite them in the plenary and share the discussion together. So the last one, the facilitator is a group centered. So as a facilitator, the attention is not on me as a facilitator when you are facilitating. The attention is not on me as a facilitator. Yeah, the group or the participant. Any questions so far? Are we together? Thank you. I can see in the chat that la traduction est entrecoupée. Sometimes they cannot hear you well. Okay. So now we want to see who is the facilitator. Or what is the role of a facilitator, you can say. So a facilitator helps to create and sustain an environment of trust and openness. So when you find yourself in a workshop as a facilitator, make sure at the first start of the workshop, you create this room of openness and trust with your participant. Because once you do that, participants will feel free to share their experience. So the second one, a facilitator ensures that everyone feels included and has an opportunity to participate. And with this, as a facilitator, it's your role to check the dynamics of the group, your participants. And also to see who is that participant who is maybe sharing with us. And try to include even those who are not sharing. Just to hear their perception about the content that you are giving. The other one, a facilitator provides a structure for learning. And this structure for learning, like it's you to know the venue. I want to talk about the venue where the workshop will be taking place. When you set the ground rules for the community agreement in the session, as a facilitator, that will help you to know if your participants are really comfortable with you in the facilitation. So the other one is a facilitator have to make sure the housekeeping is done. So this, it's really focusing on the preparation of the workshop. to make sure if the materials, the venue, everything that you'll be using as resources are available. So after this, we want to see who is not a facilitator. As I said before, a facilitator is someone who makes things easy. Like if I have the content as a facilitator, a content to facilitate, to offer, it's my role as a facilitator to give that content by using easier method or methodology that participants will capture it in an easy way. So the first one, the facilitator is not the person in charge. And from here you can see, I said the whole group is responsible for learning. So when you are a facilitator, consider yourself as a learner at the same time. So it's not like because I'm a facilitator, I'm the one to give or offer everything as the content. But also try to include your participants and try to perceive what are their experience, their thoughts about the content that you are given. Secondly, a facilitator is not a lecturer. The facilitator is a co-learner, as I said. So as we can see, when we find ourselves in a class, most of the time lecturers are there to offer the content. And most of the time they're there in front of us, just teaching what they know. Like what they have prepared. But when it comes to a facilitator, sometimes I can decide to work on a certain topic. And I can still include participants to know their perception. What do you think about this topic? By knowing their expectations. Less attend. Because from their expectation there, it's like a guidance. You as a facilitator to know what to prepare. So are we taking, a facilitator is not an expert? Because an expert is someone who's, let's say, like, I'm a facilitator and I'm an expert in facilitation. So that is an example. If I call myself an expert facilitator, it's like I know everything. But a facilitator is that person who is eager to learn from their participant. Yeah, so a facilitator is not the center of attention. We talked about this, that the attention is based on the group, but also on the participant. So another one, a facilitator is not an arbiter. It's not like we are in the session, someone is sharing his or her opinion. And then as a facilitator, I'm the one to say, no, I miss you are right, guide you are wrong. Or this idea is really good. I agree with this and I disagree with that. But as a facilitator, we welcome the idea of everyone. Because we can receive the same content, but we have different perception about that content. And that's why being a facilitator, you are a learner at the same time, because you can still be learning from different opinions of your participant. The last one I will say, a facilitator is not a maid. If you see the first one, when I said a facilitator is not the person in charge, it doesn't mean because I'm a facilitator, something happened in the group or in the room. So because I'm a facilitator, I'm the one to take that. That is my responsibility. But remember that when we are in the workshop as a facilitator, try also to include your participant. Because all of us, we are responsible for learning. And if something happened in the group that maybe we did not plan, anyone can volunteer to take that. Thank you so much. Any questions so far? Yes. 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 Yeah. So when I talked about like a facilitator is not a maid, and I gave an example. With the first example, I said the facilitator is not the person in charge. So as a facilitator, when you find yourself in the workshop with your participant, I can give an example for something minor, just an example. Just something minor, an example. Like we're in the workshop, and maybe someone want to serve himself water somewhere. And accidentally, maybe a cup fall down, and the person maybe throw water on the floor. So as a facilitator, it's not like your task. You're not like a maid. You're the one to go and mop the floor. You can still do it. You can still do it if you want. But I just want to tell you how you can still include your participant in that volunteering themselves, even to do so. As we came, all of us, to attend the workshop, meaning that we all responsible for learning. So anything that can happen in there that as a facilitator did not plan, it's not like my task as a facilitator to go and mop, but anyone can take that responsibility. Yeah, but just for those who volunteer themselves to do it. That can be one example. Another example can be on like on the content. Let's say that we are talking about trauma healing. So like on the first day, yes, you as a facilitator, you can still share what you prepare. But you remember from that topic, you can still ask your participants, what are your expectations on this topic? It doesn't matter how many days you take, your facilitation will take. You can still introduce that on the first day in the morning. So that you can see from the expectation, you can know, okay, I'm going to talk about, if it's about examples, you know, in which background you're going to put that example so that everyone can feel included. So it can mean like I'm not a maid, like in the way like I'm not the one to offer all the content. I don't know if I answered it. Thank you so much. Is there any other question or I proceed? In the chat? Is there any question in the group? I don't see any. Yes, Yusuf.
Yes, thank you very much. I wanted to ask about, you said the facilitator is not a maid. Yeah, I understand. So I wanted to understand, like, during the facilitation, you can hear me, right? Hello?
Would you?
Hello?
I can't hear his question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask if a facilitator is allowed to give responsibilities to the participant in a group.
So yes, thank you so much, Yusuf. it depends with the methodology that we are using. So as I said before, so as a facilitator, so we use two ways communication. So meaning that you can still give tasks to your participants. It can be the exercise that you want to put them into groups. But also there is another way of facilitating. It can be some, let's say like some questions that participant ask. And you can still ask your participant, you can go and think about these questions. And tomorrow we'll come and have a discussion together. Just something simple, yes. As a facilitator, it's your role to know if you want to give them task, what kind of task you want them to do. Is it a group work? Is it discussions in plenary? Is it okay, Yusuf?
Yes, yeah, it's okay. Thank you.
Satisfied? Yes. He said yes. Sorry, I can't hear you. We still have technical problem. Yeah, so let us proceed. So, Amish, you can still hear me? Thank you. I can manage. Yeah. Yeah, let us proceed. So we want to answer this question, what makes a good facilitator? So what makes a good facilitation, or what makes your facilitation to be successful? As a facilitator, you have to sense the feelings of your participant. So meaning that when you find yourself in the workshop, so as a facilitator, you need to sense the feelings of your participant. So the second, you need to have this sensitivity to the feelings of the group. So the first one, to have this sensitivity to the feelings of the individual, like participant by participant, and the second one to the entire group. So through their characters, you can know that, you can sense that. Some people can be dozing in the session. Others can be in and out. Others can be having small discussions in between themselves during the session. So as a facilitator, you need to sense all those characters. Like if you see that they're dozing, maybe they need some energizer. Maybe they need some break, water break, just to stretch for 5 minutes and come back and continue the session. So you are the one to know how is the dynamics of your participant. Another one, a facilitator, you should have the ability to listen. And listen is not only when they share their opinions, but also this ability will help you when you have this ability to listen. It will help you to have this sensitivity to the feelings of your audience. Thank you. The other one, a facilitator should be tact. This sometimes we find ourselves in the workshop, and maybe one of the participants can share something that is uncomfortable to the whole audience. Or it can be me as a facilitator. Yeah, the facilitator who can share something that is not comfortable to the workshop. But to be tact is not like because someone shared something that make others uncomfortable. Like even though other people are uncomfortable with what you shared in the workshop, so as a facilitator, I shouldn't act in aggressive way. Or act as if the person did not have the right to share what he or she shared. But being tact will help you to manage those kind of situations. A facilitator should have this commitment to collaboration. And this collaboration with your participants. Sometimes participant can share something. And there are some facilitators who immediately we start doing this, shaking their head. As if you were waiting for the participant to convince you. But it's still an experiential learning. When you open that room for collaboration as a facilitator with your participant, and the way you welcome their ideas or opinions in the session, this will open another room to your participant to be open and share more. So a good facilitator should also have a sense of timing. To allocate each time for a session. And this is what I used to say, that if you have a session like for 8 hours per day, make sure after 1 hour and a half, give a break, a short break to your participants. If it's not a break for them going out, at least do some ice break, some energizers that will help them to come back to the session. A facilitator should also be flexible. And the flexibility, it's very important. I could say it's a good character of a good facilitator. Because sometimes you find yourself with your co-facilitators. Or it can also be participant who maybe drop out, doesn't want to come to the session or to the workshop. So if you don't have flexibility, sometimes it will be difficult for you to work as a team. And it will be difficult for you maybe to accept something from your participant. So we need to be flexible, because anything can happen, even what you did not plan at the facilitator. So something also very important, as a facilitator should have a sense of humor. So it's not like you are there in front of your participant as a robot. You can't joke, you can't smile, you can't laugh. But you can have this sense of humor, so that this will help you to be free, to feel flexible, to be patient with your participant, but also to include them in your preparations. Because most of the time when you are too serious, especially on the face as a facilitator, there are even people who can be just quiet, not because they don't want to share, but because your face is not welcome. They will think they're maybe in a military camp somewhere, in the military things, I don't know, meeting or military what, somewhere where people are very serious. But when at the first day, when you welcome your participant in the session, please show that relaxed face and smiley face that they will find, or they will feel welcomed in the session. So a facilitator should also be resourcefulness and creative, should have this resourcefulness and creativity, sense of creativity. Because sometimes maybe you'll be preparing a session. Maybe you don't have the venue, you don't have the materials, let's say flip chart, if you want to use flip chart. So as a facilitator, you have to be creative enough. So you can know, if you don't have the room where the workshop will be taking place. You can even look for somewhere where people can sit. I've been in the workshop where we sit outside on the floor in the grass. That's somewhere calm where people can connect with the nature. And you can conduct your workshop from there. And the creativity, if you don't have flip chart stand, if you don't have the pin board, or the pin board, yeah, okay. So as a facilitator, so you should be creative enough to know. So if I don't have flip chart, if I don't have the maybe flip chart stand, what can I use instead? And most of the time when you find yourself at this level of creativity, sometimes I used to send email to my participants. Like the workshop will be about this and this and that, and I have this and this kind of material. And try to collect their thought. What do you think we can do? As I said, all of us, we are responsible for learning. Trust me, some of your participants can still send you some ideas that are very creative and they can help you as a facilitator. We also have this one of giving up mindset. I hope all of us, we know what giving up is, the meaning of giving up on something. So sometimes we find ourselves in the session or as a facilitator, we have this mindset of, how can I say it? Of maybe privilege, like, because I know maybe I'm Missy and God in my session, so I will privilege some participants more than others. Because this one came from this country, the other one came from another country. So there are some facilitators who are like that. So as a facilitator, you are just there to facilitate. And whoever will come there, please include him or her in the facilitation process. I want to link this with this unconditional positive regards. The last one, most of the time, we use it in things of psychosocial support, something about psychology. Yeah, between the maybe psychologist and the client. So as we know, so we are people, but we have different backgrounds, different diversity. But when you find yourself in the workshop, please don't connect with your participant from their background or from their class, social class. But try to connect with them from this human level. Yeah, just to put in your mind that even though they're participants, even though they're lecturers, even though they are, I don't know, businessmen, soldiers, they're first human beings. So any questions so far? Yes. 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 Sure. So you ask what is the role? Thank you so much, Nadine. As we can see, I can project this as the role of a facilitator. Guide the discussions in the workshop. This one of provide the right answers, the right questions. But I can state the major role of a facilitator is to make things easier to the participants. It can be a topic about okay, let's go with trauma healing. And this can have maybe different techniques in that domain of psychology. But as a facilitator, it's your role to choose a best methodology that will make this content easier for you as a participant to understand it. It's only that. And this can be through discussion or giving them different tasks in the group so that they can discuss and come and share in the plenary. That is already one example of the methodology you can use. Put them into groups, they discuss. And after, invite them in the plenary, then we share together so that we can hear the perception of different people. Understandable? Clear. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to talk about the challenges that we face in the facilitation process. Some of the challenges, this is not all. This video I watched long time ago on YouTube. And this woman was talking about how to deal with difficult participants during your facilitation process. So this is the first challenge. So sometimes you find yourself with difficult participants in the session. I just want to present you the 4 personalities that this difficult participant can show. So she said the 4 personality, it's alpha, beta, gamma, and omega. So talking about the alpha, they said these people who have the personalities of alpha. So they have this main personality traits. Translate. Yeah, so they have this many personality traits is that they are power hungry. And they see themselves as a leader. So sometimes you find yourself in the workshop. And maybe, for example, if you give a task of maybe group work, where they're working into groups discussing about a particular topic, you always see there are these participants who want to dominate others. Like, I'm the one who knows everything. I want to lead. I want to, like, my opinion are better, are the best than others' opinions. And even though when you try to observe as a facilitator in the plenary session, you can see they're the one they want to share, they want to do, they're just active, want to show that I know something, I'm a leader, they just have certain power in them. The second, we have better. And their main personality trait is that they are knowledge driven. They have this knowledge driven. And they want to be seen as an expert. So when you give them the floor to share something, so you try to observe, you see that they want the way they're expressing themselves, or the way they are expressing their opinion. It's like, this is my domain, I know what I'm sharing. And sometimes if everyone also shares something different from what he shared or she shared before, and this is most of the time we find ourselves, a workshop became a debate. And sometimes as a facilitator, we lose the track. It's like, now you're not a facilitator, it's like they have overpowered you. Because the person sees himself as an expert. If you don't guide that discussion as a facilitator, sometimes debate can start in the session, and you lose the role as a facilitator. So we need to be careful with these personalities. So the third, we have gamma. So these participants who have this gamma personality, they like to be given tasks. And they love clear direction. But also, they don't like to be put on the spot. So sometimes you see yourself in the workshop. But there are participants, yes, they are participants, but they want to come and help you as a facilitator. I don't know if some of you who are facilitators, we have been like going through this example or experience this. Or experience this. Because sometimes we think it's not like the person want to disturb. It's not like the person want to disturb your facilitation. But it's because that is his or her personality. He want to help, he want to be active. He don't want to be, or she doesn't want to be on the corner. He just want to be there. And they like clear direction on what to do and how to do things. So as a facilitator, when you are giving instructions to your participant, So make sure to be clear and specific enough to avoid this kind of personalities or misunderstanding. But lastly, we have Omega. And their personal trait is that they are resistance oriented and they can be seen as the disruptor. As we can see, most of the time we have this kind of participant. It's not like they just want to do it on purpose, but this is their personality. It can also be something that maybe you as a facilitator, you shared. And the Omegas, they don't want maybe to ask questions for clarity. That's why most of the time you could see small groups in between. Like start asking their colleagues, what did you hear? How was that? Or the discussion start from there. And if we are not careful enough as a facilitator, we can lose control, or we can lose our role of facilitators. Especially when we find ourselves in this kind of challenge of difficult participants. Because sometimes also they don't ask questions because they don't know the answer. And this is used to happen for these three personalities, the alpha, the beta, and the omega. Either I ask the question to disturb you as a facilitator, or they ask you questions to compare your competencies with them because they find themselves as a leader and an expert. Is how they see themselves. So, I will come back to the solution to that. So another challenge that we used to face as facilitators another one is lack of engagement on the side of participants. And this you might find yourself maybe the first day you're asking questions and no one raise up the hand to share their opinion or thoughts. And this happened most of the time with the methodology that you use as a facilitator. So we need to be careful and to know how to engage our participants in the sessions.
Mais aussi, nous devons voir comment inclure, mais aussi encourager les participants.
So another one is conflict and disagreement. So sometimes you can be facilitating and some conflict can arise from nowhere. It can be from the opinions or life experiences that they are sharing. Another thing is time management. So if you plan, you are planning for a workshop and say you have 7 hours per day, you spend 7 hours per day. So if the content and the time, how can I say, like what you prepare for the day, the time is not enough. Sometimes it's good to skip some session for the second day. But if the workshop was only for the first day, this can be one challenge that you can still share with your participant. And agree with them if they're still okay if you add, or if they allow you to take at least the other add more 30 minutes. Because most of the time, if you don't include them in that decision making of adding time, you can still be more challenged by even more than what you were thinking. There is also what we call lack of trust. Sometimes we find ourselves in the workshop and maybe it's a workshop where you want to learn from people's experiences. But when you invite them to share, some of them are quiet because of this lack of trust. They're afraid, like if I want to share my experience and tomorrow I hear it outside, what will happen? So another one is emotional reaction. Sometimes we find yourself in the workshop. People are crying. People are screaming. People are in and out. So it's for you to know as a facilitator. How are you going to deal with those kind of situations? So the last one is overwhelming information. So this is something that they can announce, maybe someone, a participant. Or Or it can be something that someone else was doing in the workshop and someone did not feel well about that. So as a facilitator, so we're the one to know how we can take care of all these overwhelming feelings and emotions. So here I provided some solution. So I can say setting ground rules or community agreement is one of the best solutions to deal with these challenges. Especially with difficult participants. Let me see. Difficult participant? Yes. Yeah, so when you set the ground rules, so they will know. They will know what to do and what to not do in this workshop so that everyone can feel comfortable. Another thing, as a facilitator, you need to be, like, make sure you are active listening. You have these active listening skills. Because from these skills, you can know a participant who is disturbing and who is want to learn. So another thing that you can do, you can have a parking lot, or what we used to call it open question posters. And the role of these open questions in the workshop. So when these people who have strong characters in the workshop, when they ask these open questions, they just want to know what will be the opinion of this facilitator, what will be the opinion of my colleague. So these questions that will put you in deep discussions in the workshop. It can also be like someone asks a question. And as a facilitator, when you give them to more than 2 people, and you start hearing words that I disagree with Linda or I agree with Hussein, something like that. Immediately, as a facilitator, just be aware that it's a debate that is, you have opened a debate. But what you can do, you can just say, thank you for the question. So if the answers provided from your colleague are not enough for you,
donner l'arbre aux collègues les endroits de marche
So just make him or her to know that we put your question on this open question poster,
afin de savoir que vous avez mis sa question et la fiche
or on these parking lots,
ou sur les questions de questionnement.
and making him or her understand that we come back on that.
Et aussi le faire savoir que nous allons revenir sur ce point.
So another solution is asking probing questions as a facilitator.
Une des solutions, c'est de demander et de poser des questions.
And this one, a participant can ask you a question.
Un participant peut demander une question.
And you as a facilitator, you know that when someone asks a question, it's because I have an answer, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is right, what I'm thinking about this question.
Et vous, étant un facilitateur, la jeune femme pouvait voir la personne qui n'est pas claire. C'est ce que je voulais dire.
I mean, the person who asked the question, sometimes they have answers to that question, but they just ask it for clarity or for disturbance.
Certaines fois, les participants demandent des questions, mais ils veulent la réponse, mais ils ne sont pas sûrs de répondre.
So you can still show them back the question. What do you think about this? And if he said, I don't know, that's why I asked the question, you can target another participant. What do you think about this? So that they can be included.
Et s'ils disent qu'ils ne connaissent pas, vous pouvez toujours inclure
So another thing, you can give them tasks. You can also do this, like prioritize the key point, and this happens most of the time when you are giving instruction. When you are giving instructions. Don't be too long. Focus on the key points that are important. So the solution on about dealing with the emotions that may arise during the workshop. You can just open this room of openness where they will feel free to express their feelings. It can also be something that you don't need really to take care of it in the workshop. And maybe the person needs to discuss or someone to be there for him or for her, and that's we need you time as a facilitator. That's when we need time as a facilitator, like someone who is emotional in the workshop. And maybe the person doesn't feel free to express it out loud in front of everyone. It's still okay. If you're the only facilitator, you can still take a short break. If you don't have co-facilitators, so you can have a short break just to check with that person in person. In private, just to know what is going on with the person. So about time management, we just require you to create a detailed agenda. And just to allocate time for each session. Yeah. So thank you so much. This is the end of my presentation. So I don't know if there are questions or comments, because I see our time is, maybe I can still take 5 minutes if you allow me for questions and comments. Yes. I thought Hussein raised up the hand. Any question or comment? Any question? Good, do you not say anything? Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, thank you so much, God. God just remind me something is very important. That's what we call a team building in facilitation. You translate? I can talk. Yeah, God was sharing about something that is very important during the facilitation. And team building is one of the things that will help you to make your facilitation maybe successful. And team building is all about the preparation of the workshop. It doesn't matter if you are alone or if you are two facilitators. A team building, it's also a process where facilitators you meet and you prepare your session, you prepare the workshop, is where you discuss about the venue where the workshop will be taking place, the materials that you need. It's where you discuss about how many times you'll be spending per day, how many time you'll be spending per session, sharing tasks, who is going to facilitate this, but also each session in team building is where you discuss all the methodology. If I'm going to talk about trauma healing, which methodology that will be easier to this participant? Which methodology will be easier maybe for me as a facilitator also to offer this kind of session? Another thing, if you are more than 2 facilitators, it's better also you discuss about your strengths and your weaknesses of facilitation.
Okay, Gad vient de me rappeler quelque chose concernant le renforcement d'équipe. C'est quand les facilitateurs viennent ensemble avant les jours de l'atelier. Ils discutent la session, ils discutent la méthodologie qu'ils vont utiliser. Par exemple, si les idées concernent l'agrément de traumatisme, les facilitateurs viennent ensemble et ils acceptent ensemble de se mettre d'accord de la méthodologie qu'ils vont utiliser, comment ils vont répartir les tâches, mais aussi comment la réception va se dérouler. Et aussi, c'est très important pendant ce temps que le facilitateur discute de leurs forces et de leurs faiblesses pour qu'ils soient à mesure de connaître comment ils vont répartir les tâches, mais comment ils vont se comporter aussi lors de la facilitation.
Thank you so much, Amisi. When I was talking about sharing strengths and weaknesses, this will help you to know what like the competencies of your facilitators. And from there, maybe for example, I can say, I'm Linda, but I don't know how to write on flip chart. Maybe I don't have a good handwriting on flip chart. But from there, if someone also shared that I have a good handwriting, from there you can know. If we are going to talk about expectations and we want to list them down, so you know that, okay, maybe a Misty can put that on the flip chart. So that will just help you to know each other, but also sharing the expectations. What are we expecting from this workshop at the beginning when you are doing your team building?
Mais aussi, pendant que vous discutez lors de la session de renforcement d'équipe, vous devez partager quels sont vos efforts pour que vous soyez en mesure de détecter les compétences de chaque facilitateur. Si, par exemple, si le facilitateur dit, moi, je suis confortable d'écrire les feedbacks, ça peut vous aider lors des processions que vous allez devoir valider ce facilitateur parce qu'il a dit qu'il est fort en cette matière de. Alors, il faut que vous puissiez être attentif, mais aussi que vous fassiez attention quand vous donnez vos efforts.
Yeah. Lastly, I want to talk about clinic. Clinic also, it's how we do clinic. Clinic, it's something that you can do if you are alone as a facilitator or if you have your co-facilitators. And this happens sometimes as a facilitator, you are not sure of what you are going to offer to your participant. Maybe someone asks a question and maybe you don't know where to start giving the answer. Or it can be something that you want to present, but you don't know where to start from. And please, feel free to do a clinic with yourself or with your team. And this is when you can go and check maybe where you prepare something. Sometimes we have notebooks, sometimes you have your papers. Go back, check how you are going to maybe introduce this session. It's not like we are not prepared, but just make sure when you come back to your audience and make sure you don't go far away from your participant, just explain. I was just going to check something on my agenda or with my co-facilitator, and let us start. And that is enough. But not only like you disappear, we don't know where you are, and then you come back and you want us to start the facilitation. But it's something that you can still say that this is a clinic. I was just doing a small check-in with myself on how I can start this. And it's okay. It will not even look like you were not prepared because we are learning. It's not like we are experts, but we are facilitators. So thank you so much. I hope this is the end. Thank you, Linda. Oh, yeah, my audience online. So thank you so much, guys, for being there and being attentive. So this is the end of our presentation of today on our topic. Yeah, we just want to say goodbye. Maybe short announcement. We will share with you the feedback sheet about this, right? And also this video we will, I think, yeah, will be uploaded on YouTube. Thank you so much. So anytime you can still feel free to go and rewatch it. Thank you so much and have a good evening. The question is there. Thank you.